guys, this is Claudia here from the Bookkeeping Experts. I've been an accountant and a QuickBooks consultant for a long time. I have all kinds of clients that come up to me with all kinds of questions. Today we're going to talk about undeposited funds. Why do we record payments into the undeposited funds, and how to fix problems when the payment is not recorded correctly. I have a few examples for you and a few techniques that we use to clean up books. Okay, so without much further ado, here we go. And by the way, undeposited funds got to be one of the most popular subjects because first, a lot of business people and even bookkeepers don't understand why we send the payments into undeposited funds. It is actually a security measure in QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop as well to verify that all the payments that are received are accounted for. So basically, the workflow with QuickBooks is that you create an invoice, you record a payment that goes to undeposited funds, and then you record the deposit accordingly. It is especially important for clients that deposit multiple payments at the same time, because basically if you record straight to the bank account, you're gonna most likely have a bigger possibility of make mistakes. But if you send it to undeposited funds and you record the deposit to the exact amount that was deposited in the bank, you're certifying that everything is correct, that every transaction is being accounted for. There has been situation where clients of mine realized that the POS company had not paid them for a transaction because of whatever error they had in their system. But once we clean up the books, they realize, oh, I didn't receive this money. Okay, so that's why we send to undeposited funds, to basically certify that we're accounting for every single transaction, every single payment transaction in QuickBooks Online. Okay, of course I said invoice, but you can also record a sales receipt, which does the same thing. It also goes to undeposited funds. First, I wanted to show you where undeposited funds is located. So on the top left-hand side, you want to click on the plus new and bank deposit. So whenever you send your deposits to undeposited funds, this is where your undeposited funds will go to, so you can record the payment. So a lot of times I have two screens because that's the best way to work. To duplicate your screen, you can go into the tab all the way on the top, right click it and click on duplicate. Okay, all right. So in this one we have the undeposited funds. On this one I usually go into banking, and then I'm gonna look at the transactions, at the deposits, right? Okay. All right, so I'm looking at this transaction, $431.50, and I know that the payment was actually $450, but we had transaction fees. All right, so here we have a combination. Let's see, this happened on the 18th. We had a combination, but realized that there's only one for $300. And we're probably missing something. Now, how can I find a payment? So I know that I recorded the payment. Okay, a lot of my clients, and that's exactly what happened. So they know that they recorded the payment for the client, but somehow it's not here. So one way for you to find the payment is to go to the exact client. So you go into sales, go to customer, and then type customer, and then you go to the client invoice to verify where the payment was recorded to. Another way is to go into the bank account itself, into the register. This is the banking, and these are the live transactions coming from the bank. Now, certain transactions is recorded manually, like the invoice or a sales receipt is recorded manually, and it has to be matched in banking. So to find those transactions, you can go into the bank register right from the right hand side where it says go to bank register. Another way is just to go to accounting and chart of accounts, and then find the account and view register. So it's the same way. So if you go into banking and click on go bank register, it's the same thing. And I'm looking for specific transactions, so I'm going to put the month of February. I'm going to click apply. A lot of times I will be able to find those transactions from the register. So those subtitles or those titles here on the top, they're actually you can actually use them in order to order your transactions by amount or by date. So those are all filters. See that? You can filter by date. You can click on deposit and filter by deposit amount. Now, I like to use this feature to be able to find any duplicated transaction or any payment that was sent straight to the bank or recorded into the bank instead of undeposited funds. The way to find if it is recorded manually or if it came through the bank is by looking at this row next to deposit. See that everything that comes from the bank has 2 green flags. That means that this transaction came from the bank. So I find 2 of them here, and those are both sales receipt. So they should have been recorded into undeposited funds, but was recorded into checking. So if you click on the transaction itself, on the number, on the amount, and then click on edit, you'll be able to open up the transaction. Okay, once you open up the transaction, wherever it says deposited to, you click on the arrow next to it and select undeposited funds. Okay, undeposited funds, or pay to deposit if you have a newer account, because they changed the name on the newer account. So save and close, and we're gonna do the same thing with the other one. And not on categorize asset, undeposited funds. Okay. All right, so now every transaction has been sent into bank. Now we're gonna go to record those undeposited funds. So we're gonna click on plus new on the top left hand side, bank deposit, and we're gonna select first the 2 transactions that add up to the $450. Okay, that happened on the 18th. So actually it was recorded for the wrong date. This one is supposed to be the 18th. So if you click, oh yeah, tip here. I had a client that actually recorded all the deposits incorrectly, the date incorrectly. So make sure that the date is correct. If it's not correct, you click on receive from in the customer, the name of the customer. Okay, and you can change the date right there. See that? You want to make sure that you record the right date on the sales receipt or payment, right? So that you can find the right transactions. And here I am. Now, keep in mind that this transaction does not have the banking fees, right? It says $450. But what hit the bank was $431.90. That means that, let's see, $18.50 was the bank fees or merchant fees. So I'm just gonna put, let's put Honey Books here, because Honey Book, not books. And we're gonna put bank fees, bank charges, or you can call it merchant services. Okay, and then this is gonna be a negative amount, because we, by putting a negative amount, we are counting that as, or we're depositing that into an expense account, which is bank charges. Okay, so that's $18.50. It's negative. It's gonna take away from my deposit. Oh, it disappeared. If it disappears, because I click on this little arrow here and it closed down. Now we can open and close. See? All right, so now I know that my deposit is $431.50, which is exactly the amount that hit the bank on the 18th. The date of my transactions are correct, and we're gonna save a new. Now we're gonna do the next one. This happened on the 25th, so we're gonna find the one for the 25th. Change the date. Oh, one more thing. Okay, see that where it says account, says cash account, but I was supposed to send it to the checking account. So this is a very common mistake. So how can I change that? Now, if I just recorded the deposit, see the counter clock on the top left hand side? You can click there, and the last deposit that I just did will be right there. If I click on it, it's gonna open up, and I can correct it right from here. So click on the arrow, check, record the right account, and save a new, because I still have more stuff to record. Okay, so now if I go to the other screen and I click on Categorize, now keep in mind, because I'm working with two screens, it's not automatically updating on the other screen. So I have to refresh, and the way I like to refresh is just clicking on Categorize here and then back to for review. All right, it's right here. It didn't pick up, but if I put here February 1st through February, these are old transactions, so sometimes it doesn't quite pick up. But if I select the date, it's going to match to a deposit here. See that? So I can go ahead and match it. And then we're recording the next two transactions. One is for the 25th. So I'm going to record. And you can't, if you deposited, or if it was deposited on your bank as two separate transactions, you have to record as two separate transactions. If it was recorded as a lump sum, you select both transactions. Keep in mind, when I record the bank deposit, it has to mirror exactly what happened in the bank. So if you deposited $300, you have to record the $300. If you recorded the payment as $300, but you only received $280 because $20 would be bank fees, you have to record that bank fee right where it says that funds to this deposit as a negative amount to take out from that deposit and to match it what happened in banking. All right, so we know that what we received was $140.50, so that means $9.50 was bank fees. Okay, all right, money book, bank fees. All right, so minus $9.50, and now I have $140.50, which is exactly what happened in the bank. Now, once again, I can't emphasize enough, make sure you have the right bank account, the right date, and the right deposit amount right here on the bottom. Okay, we're gonna save a new. If I click on Categorize here and back to for review, oh, there it is. And by the way, it's gonna try to match with both of them, but I know that it's only one of them. And look at the date of the deposit is incorrect. I can fix that very easily. I am back on the other tab, counter clock, click on the transaction, and it's supposed to be the 25th. Isn't that funny? I'm telling you, you gotta be careful about the date. And here I make a mistake with the date. Okay, go figure. So, all right, so that you see that even people who has been doing this for a long time, we still make mistakes sometimes. But the good thing about QuickBooks is that in this case, it's very easy to fix. So next one is the 28th, and same thing. So 28th, change the date here. It's going to checking. So same thing. That's my POS. Got sales and negative $9.50. Okay, bottom line is $140.50. Everything looks good. And save and new. Okay. And then I have the $300 here. It's going to be in March. So I can change the date here. This is March 9th. So I use those filters all the time. So where it says custom, because this way it makes it easier for us to locate those transactions. So 286 is the amount deposited. So that means $14 was the fees. Okay, I'm gonna record as March 9th. And okay, sales. And once again, $14, right? So 286. 286. Date is right. Account is right. And the final deposit is right. So we're gonna save and close now, because I got all my deposits. Going to banking. Oh, by the way, I already have it here. So I just have to click on Categorize for review. And the first one is saying that there's two deposits because it's the same amount. So you want to make sure you open that and you compare the date. Make sure that the date is the right one. Okay, now we only have one deposit here. Okay. Oh, yes. And then finally we have that 286 and we want to match that. Okay, a common mistake that always happens to many of my clients is, especially if the deposit was recorded for the full amount, $300, but it was recorded straight to the bank account instead of undeposited funds, and then it never matched, and the client just added the income from the bank account. So basically you're duplicating everything. So you have the income through the bank and it was never matched to the invoice or sales receipt that you recorded. So the way that I usually find, I would go into Categorize with the custom date, and we're gonna look for income transaction. Remember that all those subtitles here are filters. So if I click on amount, I'm gonna look, and I have the date just for March, that up to March 9th. I'm gonna look at the transactions that says, income transactions that says added instead of matched. And those transactions are mostly the transactions that were not matched in QuickBooks and that I need to correct. And a lot of times those payments are sitting on undeposited funds, or they were recorded straight to the bank account, therefore duplicating all your income, especially for clients that never reconcile their accounts. At the end of the year, you're paying twice as much tax because it was recorded twice. So obviously you can fix that by reconciling and undoing those transactions. Just we have a video on that, how to fix that, how to fix a wrong, how to reconcile and fix duplicated income. So check it out. I'm gonna put the link down below. All right, I would like to thank you so much for watching this video, spending this time with me. We hope that we can see you in the near future. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you will receive the most updated information on QuickBooks Online. We'd like to hear from you. If you want us to cover a subject, make sure you put down below what you'd like us to cover, and we will make sure that we'll cover that for you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch our videos. We hope to see you soon, and until next time, keep on smiling.